Hey everyone, welcome to week 7 of the D-League charity tournament. This is your regular weekly update and I am your host, Rocket Rob. So thank you for joining us and thank you so much to everyone for completing your matches on time this week. We've had a really great week of the tournament, just one more match yet to be played. So thank you so much. That's another $24 raised for charity as we do each week, and we are now only 1 week away from the end of the regular season. So this is going to be a really big video looking at who's on top of the leaderboard in the individual standings, who is looking at a potential semi-final, who won their matches last week, and who's playing who next week as well. So it's going to be a really great one to get into, but before we get to the matchups, we're going to have a look at our featured charity of the week, and this week we have decided to go with our Clans charity. Now, the Clans charity was decided on a poll on the D-Clan Facebook page, and there was actually 2 winners. One of them is the one that we're going to be featuring today, which is the Worldwide Cancer Research Organisation. Now, this is a really important organisation, as I know a lot of you are familiar that cancer, it's a horrible disease. It affects so many people. Pretty much everyone knows someone that's had it. For me personally, both my grandfathers passed away from cancer. My father had cancer, but he managed to beat it. So it is something that runs in my family, so it is something that I am certainly concerned about as well. And this organisation are doing some amazing things for a disease that needs to be stopped. So you can see here, this is their website, worldwidecancerresearch.org. I will have that link in the description below as well. They've got some amazing projects. They do research all over the world, and you can actually see that here. This is a map of all the places that they operate in. And they have done some really amazing things. So for instance, they're cutting communication between normal and tumour cells in pancreatic cancer. They're looking at a new way to boost the immune system's fight against cancer, understanding stem cells and leukemia, and there's pages and pages and pages of more projects that they have either worked on in the past or are currently working on now. So have a look at their website. They've got multiple ways that you can support. You can actually run your own fundraising event, I believe, in here. So you can have a look at that. If you've got maybe a workplace that might be interested in doing that, you can do so. You can also donate to them as well, of course, so there is a link there to do that, as well as more information there for those who would like to check it out. But I really encourage you to have a look. We did have a lot of support from our clan for this charity for obvious reasons, that it does do such important and amazing work. So yeah, that's Worldwide Cancer Research. The link will be in the description, but now we're going to get into this week's update on the tournament. So first, let's have a look at who is leading the individual standings. And it's getting interesting. Now we only have one person in outright first, and that is MY Sons, who had another win. He's 5-0 now, which is incredible. Well done, MY Sons. Yeah, well done on the competition so far. You're the only person in first place, but there are a couple of people right on his heels. In second place, we have Kill Moon, who had a win in the competition this week, and it's really amazing. Well done, Kill Moon. Kill Moon started this competition as a sub. He, I think, didn't come in until the 3rd week of the competition, so to be at 4-0 by now, that's an amazing record. Well done. We then have MY Ace, who sat out last week and is still at 4-0, very much within touching distance of that first place. So these are the guys to beat. There are other people that are in contention as well, but I'd be having an eye on those guys. They are within touching distance of that extra $50 for charity as well. So good luck to anyone else who's still in contention as well. But now we're going to look at the team standings. So, like I said before, we've only got one more match to play. All of Division 1 has been completed, and it is quite interesting here. We've got 2 teams in outright first place. Sorry, 2 teams that are in an obvious first place position, who have 2 more wins than anyone else in the competition. So we have Team 3 here with 5 wins and a record of 12-6. Same thing with Team 5. They are both locked there at first place, and we'll be playing to see which of them will get first, or if they'll share it by the end of the next week. After that, that's when it gets tight. In 3rd place, we have a tie between Team 8 and Team 4. Both on 3 points with a win-loss record of 9-9. We then have in 5th place Team 1 with a win-loss record of 8 and 10, but the same amount of wins. The same amount of round wins. And then we have Team 2, who actually have a better record than Team 1, but have only got 2 wins. That's my team. So it's a difficult ask for Team 2 to make the semi-finals. We need to rely on other teams to lose matches in the right places. And obviously we need a big win for our one. So the other team that's still potentially maybe in contention, I haven't looked too thoroughly on what they need to do to make it, but Team 7 are on 2 points as well, and 1 win away from equaling the guys that are tying up at 3rd place. Team 6 has been eliminated from the competition. However, there's still plenty to play for Team 6. You've still got that lottery, which is an extra $55 for your charity if you win that, so you can get an extra entry into that, as well as the extra $1 for your team, for your individual charity as well, for every win that you get. So, good luck to all the teams that are in contention and still trying to earn their way into the semi-finals. Let's look at now Division 2 and where that's standing. As I said before, there is still one match to be played, and that's between Team 12 and Team 16 as well. So they're locked at one win apiece at the moment. But in first place right now we have a very decisive leader, which is Team 15, the only team to have 5 wins in the competition so far, a record of 12 and 6. Well done, Team 15, you've been outstanding this competition. In second place, and the only team that can potentially still possibly catch Team 15, it's still a hard ask, but they need to win their match now. It's Team 12, by the way. They need to win their match against Team 16, and then they need to win against Team 13, and hope that Team 15 don't win their match. So that's where they stand. They're in second place and a strong chance of making the semi-finals. After which we then have a very tight next few teams. So Team 16 potentially could rocket their way up into 4th place with a win in their last round. Otherwise, they will go from 3rd back to a tie. Actually, they'll go into a tie for 3rd with Team 11, Team 10, and Team 9, who are all currently sitting in 4th place. So it's very tight there, obviously. As you can see, all 3 of them have 3 wins and a 9-9 record. Now, a few people have been asking me what's going to happen if there is a tie for 4th place by the end of the regular season. In that case, what we're going to do is get each team to nominate 1 player, and we're going to delay the semi-finals by 1 day, and we're going to just have a playoff between, basically a shootout. So it's just going to be 1 match between the teams that are tied, and by the end of that we'll have a winner. If for some reason, if it's a 3-way tie and we don't have a decisive winner by the end of the playoffs, then it will be a lottery and we'll pull names out of a hat, basically. So that's what's going to happen. We then, after the teams in 4th, we have Team 13 in 7th, and I'm not sure if they can mathematically make the semi-finals now with so many people on 3 points, but it may be possible. I'm not 100% sure. But Team 14 with only 1 point has unfortunately been eliminated and are in 8th place. So that's where we're sitting with the standings of all the teams after round 6 of the competition. Let's now have a look at the matches from last week. So yeah, here are all the matches from the previous round. Pretty much all of them have been completed, as you can see. Have a look where your friends' matches have a look at your friends' matches. You can see them, the IDs are there, you can look them up, but I'll also leave the link for the match videos in the description below so you can look them up anytime you like. We're going to highlight one match from the last round, which was between Kalik and Bahu, and it was a quite interesting match. A water deck versus a real mixed bag. Kalik running the triple Mega Swampert deck with a couple of Feenies and a Primal Kyogre. And then we have Bahu using an alternate name of D. Raymond, using a somewhat interesting deck. You've got a Banette, you've got an Elgum, you've got a Zoro, you've got Fracture, and a Feeny. So let's see how this one turns out. So straight away we've got Kalik putting his Feeny on the entry point and bringing out his water figures. He brings Swampert forward. Bahu then brings out his Elgin, which has that really annoying take away attack, which I've fallen to quite a few times. But now we see Mega Sceptile coming forward, really starting to threaten early, but doesn't get the spin that it wants. Gets Psy-Shocked, and that will mean that it gets weight and can get surrounded by Tapu Fini. Unlucky there, but it was a risky strategy, I suppose. Kalik throws out another Swampert in a defensive position. Kalik takes, Bahu takes the entry point, brings Elgin forward, and Kalik moves more into a defensive position there with Feeny. So Elgin's going for it now, uses the double chance, obviously looking for the takeaway, and gets it. Curious, everyone, what do you think about these new figures and the takeaway ability, the takeaway attack? It's really a pain in the ass for me to verse. Who's running it? What do you think? I personally am using Ghost at the moment, but I haven't seen many Dragon figures lately, which is quite interesting. I think the Dragon figures would still be relevant right now, but nobody seems to be using them. Let me know your thoughts. Anyway, so we now get Elgin moving forward, looking to take that second entry point, potentially. I mean, the entry points don't really matter when you've got double Feenies on the board, but let's see what comes next. So Elgin double chances, goes in for an attack on Swampert. Doesn't get the ideal spin this time. Swampert hits the tractor, pulls Elgin towards the goal. And then Mega Swamperts his one of his other Swamperts and moves up to surround the Elgin. And yeah, it instead of getting knocked out, it just gets eliminated, which is weird, really. I think. Don't you need to be running two of them for that to be worthwhile? Someone let me know. I can't really remember how that whole ability works. Anyway, so here we see Swampert, Mega Swampert going in and getting the Earthquake on Fracture, getting the knockout there. Will it get any more? No. No misses on the Earthquake. So Bahu Max Revives Fracture, brings it out into a defensive position, and Kalik takes the entry point on the left of the screen, and now we see Swampert going in for an attack on Fracture. Will Bahu swap to Zoro? Yes, he does. And hits the cross counter, getting the knockout on Mega Swampert. But we do see another Earthquake. What will come from that? No misses there. And we see Bahu coming forward with his Fracture, looking to put some pressure on his opponent, but backs off here, which is quite interesting. I suppose that defense is pretty solid. Maybe he's hoping that Kalik will bring some of the defense away so that he can have an easier chance at attacking. I'm not sure. So we see the tractor on Bennett, bring that off the entry point. And there we go, Swampert hitting the Hammer Arm, but the Bennett getting the Destiny Bond and getting the double knockout. And for those who don't know, Bennett's ability is every time it gets knocked out, it gains 10 attack points for basically every Bennett and Shuppet gain an extra 10 attack points every time EX Bennett gets knocked out. Sorry, got that a little wrong. EX Bennett gets an extra 10 attack points for every time Shuppet or Bennett gets knocked out. So anyway, we now get Haxorus going in, and it did get the evolution earlier, so now it's attacking on Primal Kyogre and gets the Guillotine. and Kalik decides to allow the knockout there and doesn't devolve, or sorry, change form. So then we get Haxorus coming forward and attacking Swampert. Swampert lands Ice Punch, so it gets knocked out but does freeze Haxorus. And then Swampert comes forward, we see Zoro come through to unfreeze Haxorus, and Swampert coming in to block the Haxorus from advancing any further. Swampert comes forward, putting pressure, and forces Haxorus to move back to avoid a surround. Haxorus comes in, attacks Swampert, and Swampert lands the tractor, so he's safe from that one. And I assume we'll go back and take that entry point? Yes, it does. And now we're in a position where Swampert can Mega and then go and get a surround here, which is going to put real pressure on Bahu, who will be down to 2 figures, and Feeney not on the board, but he does the sensible thing here, throws Feeney out. Ooh, unlucky spin there. Swampert gets the knockout, and we see Bahu now down to 2 figures with entries covered. Not a position you want to be in. So he's looking to use Zoro to unplug one of those entry points, and this seems interesting to me. I would have put something in position to take the other entry point in case Zoro got the knockout here, but Zoro doesn't get the knockout because Swampert lands the lucky tractor there and moves in to try to put pressure on the goal. Zoro moves in to try to save the game here. Can it get a good spin? No, unlucky there. So Swampert gets the knockout. That will be game. Well done to both of these players. Kalik and Bahu, both great players. Both played really well. Interesting decks. It's fun to watch these sort of matches. I just really love seeing the triple Swamperts. As long as I don't have to play them, it's great. But yeah, well done to both players, and good luck in your next rounds. Cool. So now we're going to take a look at next week's matches. So who's going to be playing in the next week? Let's have a look here. So we've got Team 1 versus Team 7, Team 2 versus Team 3, Team 4 versus Team 5, Team 6 versus 8, 9 versus 15, 10 versus 11, 12 versus 13, 14 versus 16. And some of the featured matches that I've noticed already is Phil versus Kalal. Phil is back from his hiatus of Pokemon Duel. He spent a month trying to get his account back after an unfortunate incident meant he lost it. So he's back and versing Kalal, who has been on fire in this competition and really, really playing well. Only had that one loss the whole comp. So this should be a really, really great match. We then have Rai versus Destiny as well. That's another one to look out for. 2 top contenders that love their marathon matches. I expect this match to go on for days. Let's see how we go. And then in Division 2, our top match of Division 2 is Turtle versus P-Lu. So that should be a classic match. Those two have both been playing reasonably well. Peter hasn't had the wins that he wanted in the tournament, but he's been playing well recently. So Turtle has obviously been playing well all tournament as well. Should be a great matchup there. Let's see how that ends up. But I want to also feature our top contenders. All 3 of those guys that I mentioned earlier who are at the top of the leaderboards for the individual prize are playing this week. We first see in Division 1, Killmoon versus Keldeo. So that should be a good one to watch. We then have MY Ace taking on DM1. And then our number 1 contender in the competition, or number 1 player in the competition, MY Suns, is taking on Durf. So we're seeing some really, really big matches there for the top of the leaderboard. Everyone's in contention and everyone's playing. So yeah, keep an eye on that. And good luck to everyone who's playing this week. I hope you play your best. I hope you have a great match. And yeah, good luck in the rest of the competition to make the semi-finals. So that concludes this video. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification button so that you can keep getting my updates when new videos launch. There's some great content coming up later this week. Bit of a crossover episode, so keep an eye out for that. It's going to be something that has never been done in Pokemon Duel videos before in history. So it should be really exciting to watch. That should launch midweek. But otherwise, have a great week next week. Good luck with your matches. Get them in on time. Make sure you do it early if you can. This is Rocket Rob blasting off again.